Welcome back, football fans. It's the Week 4 Pick'ems episode. I'm Chris Billings, joined by my co-hosts Nicholas Kerr and Tony Parlay Reyes. Let's jump right into it. First, we have a game in merry old London, England. Got the Atlanta Falcons versus Jacksonville Jaguars. And the worst accent you ever heard, Jacksonville's favored by 3 points. Nick, I will start with you. Who do you have, Falcons or Jags?
Chris, I'm gonna go with the Jags in this game. The Jags fans always travel well to London. They got a bunch of fans out there. They came off the surprising loss last week. I look for Trevor Lawrence to rebound. This week, I expect the Jags to take this.
All right, Nick. Tony.
It's all right. I'm also going to go ahead and back the Jags. I think Trevor Lawrence does bounce back, build a little bit stronger rapport with his receivers. They've had some drops issues to start the season. I think I did read that Trevor Lawrence's passer rating would increase like over 10 points if his receivers were catching some more passes. So I'm expecting that to improve. So I'm going to take the 3 points. Give me the Jags and 3 points.
Oi, ain't that the tits, isn't it? I'm on my lonely island. I'm picking the Falcons. The Falcons have the 9th rushing offense in the league right now, as well as one of the top 10 defenses. I think if Arthur Smith can get Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier to run the ball, be active in the game, they can not only just take some of that time of possession from Trevor Lawrence, they can also potentially set up their offense for some deep shots down the field on a very leaky Jags secondary. So that's why I'm going with Falcons. They've just shown me some things this season that I think they can very much beat this Jags team. So moving on, we have a divisional matchup. We have the Dolphins fresh off a 70-point game, 50-point beatdown of the Denver Broncos. We have the Buffalo Bills back in Buffalo, favored by 2.5 points. Who do you have in this game, Tony?
I'm going to take the Dolphins. It's tough to pick against that offense right now. Everything is clicking. This has got to be like the fastest offense I've seen in a while. 2.5 points feels like a trap. I think they're begging people to go ahead and bet on Buffalo. I think the Dolphins win this game outright. I know they've struggled in some games up in Buffalo, but game is in September, not December or January. So I like the Dolphins in this game.
Nick, what is the weather report for Buffalo this weekend?
I honestly haven't checked, but I probably should considering I'm flying up there in a few days. But I agree with Tony. The Dolphins last week were able to establish the run game and they were able to protect Tua. Both of those things are going to be vital this week going against Matt Milano and the Bills. But I expect the Dolphins to change the way things have been going and get one in Buffalo.
Right. That leaves me. I'm off my lonely island. I'm also going with the Dolphins. I think I learned my lesson being there live in Hard Rock Stadium last weekend that Dolphins they're probably one of the best things since the greatest show on turf. I just see that offense clicking. One thing that stood out with me in that Broncos game was a 4th down conversion that the Dolphins had that just showed how connected their team is. Basically came out of quick huddle, ran that formation and ran down the Broncos' throats. They have all the elements of a team that is clicking full and 100%, and I see them beating the Bills. So moving forward, we have our battle of the bad teams. We have 4 teams currently 0-3 in the NFL. Those 4 teams happen to be playing against one another. It's almost like a tournament of sadness. We have the Minnesota Vikings going first up against the Carolina Panthers in Charlotte. Vikings favored by 3.5 points. Tony, who do you have?
I'm taking the Vikings. The Panthers, they're really, really bad. And the Vikings just seem like they've had some bad luck and the ball has bounced the wrong way on some of their games. I just can't see any way that the Panthers win this game. Even with the hook, I think the Vikings win this game by at least a touchdown. Even if they're on the road, even the fact that they're on the road, give me the Vikings.
I'd say if that spread was 3 points, it made me think a little bit, but it being 3.5 points just confirms it. I'm going with the Vikings as well. Panthers just don't have a very good offense. They're a very young team. I think they still have a lot of issues to sort out, whereas Kirk Cousins is the best QB in the league right now, has over 1,000 yards, 9 TDs, 2 interceptions, just has had some bad luck. It's almost been the reverse luck of what the Vikings had last season, but I see things changing for the Vikings, them winning this game by a touchdown most likely. So, potential for a lonely island. Let's check in on Nick. Hey, he's on the mainland with us. Tell me
Not
why you're
this.
picking the Vikings.
Yeah, not this time, Chris. I did want to go with the Panthers after seeing the way the Vikings were last year, 11-0 in one-score games. This year, they've started out 0-3 in one-score games. I think they get it turned around. They win this game probably by 6, 7 points.
All right. Moving forward, our battle of these booty teams, the tournament of sadness continues. Got the Broncos at the Bears. Denver favored by 3.5 points on the road. Nick, go back to you. Who do you have in this game?
I'm taking the Bears, and it's only because of that half point. I do expect the Broncos to probably get their first win of the year. They'll probably win it with a late field goal or something, but it's just that half point that's getting me.
I'm in agreement with you, Nick. That half point definitely kind of changes things a little bit. I think if the Broncos were to win this game, it's not going to be more than a field goal. As I've said in previous episodes, the Broncos very much need to learn how to win. They are a losing culture, a losing just mentality throughout that locker room. It's a sickness almost. And if they were to pull out the win in this game, only going to be a field goal. So, also, I'm just going to say for the record, I think the Broncos do lose this game outright. So, I'm going with the Bears. Let's check in on Tony. Oh no, Tony on a lonely island picking my Broncos. Yuck. Why?
It doesn't feel good. Let me tell you, this is a battle of bad teams. I didn't want to pick the Bears either. But everything that you said about the Broncos is true for the Bears as well. They've probably been the worst team in the league for a couple of years now. So I don't have a lot of faith in Justin Fields and that offense staying competitive in that game. Matt Eberflus is the head coach of the Bears. Sean Payton's the head coach of the Broncos. Payton's a little bit better than Eberflus. Broncos win this game ugly 2013, 2014, something like that.
All right. Hey, you're braver than I am with my own team. So moving forward, we have Baltimore Ravens, the Cleveland Browns with the #1 defense in the NFL right now. Cleveland's favored by 2.5 points. I'll start with Tony. Who do you have in this game?
I'm going to go ahead and take the Ravens, man. Give me the Ravens, even though they're on the road. 2.5. I'm going to take the Ravens. They're bouncing back after that tough overtime loss. Browns are actually going to play a legit quarterback in Lamar Jackson. Division game. Give me the Ravens.
All right. Nick?
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Tony. I'm still not going to pick Mr. Massage Man, even though the Miles Garrett and that Browns defense is playing great right now. I still can't do it. I really feel that Lamar Jackson's just going to have his way with that Browns defense, and it may have to start rethinking about this Browns run defense.
Fine, Nick. Fine. I'll be on my lonely island with the massage man this week. I'm picking the Browns. The Browns have the best defense in the league right now, as I alluded to. And then in terms of the Ravens, other than Lamar Jackson, they have extremely limited options at offense. They have yet to have a receiver break 200 yards for the season. Lamar Jackson's their leading rusher. Those are definitely not ingredients for a recipe of success. I think Cleveland offense, all they really need to do in this game is just protect Deshaun Watson. Overall, the offense needs to protect the ball. Uh, and then, yeah, I see the Browns winning this game outright. I don't think that the Ravens have the weapons to go up against that Browns defense right now. So, speaking of the NFC North, the Pittsburgh Steelers are going up against the Houston Texans. Pittsburgh favored by 3 points in this game. Tony, I will start with you. Who do you have?
I'm gonna go ahead and take the Texans, Chris. This spread didn't feel right. I really think that the Texans are onto something. It looks like they're really changing their culture with D'Amico Ryans. He's like a little clone of Mike Tomlin. Little weary picking against Tomlin as an underdog for the Steelers, but I'm going to take the field goal on the Texans at home here.
Nick?
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Tony. Pittsburgh has rebounded the last couple weeks in prime time after losing week 1 against the San Francisco 49ers. Those games have been close. I expect this game to be close, but I'm going to go with the home team. Take Houston by 3.
I'm also going with the Texans. CJ Stroud's just played amazing so far this season. No interceptions, doesn't turn the ball over, has close to 1,000 yards already. I think he has 4 touchdowns. Just playing great. Steelers, their offense just can't produce right now. TJ Watt is great, as we've discussed on here. Got those 2 sacks, by the way. Um, but really, that's all there is to their defense. They're just kind of one-dimensional in that terms of they only have that pass rush option. Beyond that, they are a bottom third defense as well. So I see the Texans taking advantage of them, especially at home. Texans win. So Los Angeles Rams at Indianapolis Colts, essentially a pick 'em game. Colts are favored by 1 point. I'll start with you, Tony. Who do you have?
I'm going to take the Rams. I was real impressed with what I saw, even though they lost to the Bengals on Monday night. I really think that Stafford's playing well right now. Colts a little bit over their skis in that overtime win against the Ravens. I'll take the Rams to win this game. I really like what they're showing. Their young players, Puka Nakua and everything. Seems like they're developing a nice little team over there.
I'm in agreement with you. I also have the Rams. I still believe in them as a good team in the league. Um, had a little bit of a downfall against that Cincy defense on Monday Night Football this week, but I think they bounced back against the Colts that are still just a young team figuring out and not necessarily good. And will also be playing with a backup QB in Gardner Minshew. So yep, I'm going with the Rams. That means a chance at a lonely island. Up. Nick's back on Key West in the coconut corner. Nick, why are you picking the Colts?
I mean, Chris, the Colts have been playing much better than most people have thought they would under a rookie head coach. They hung in there with the Jags. They beat Houston. Surprising win against the Ravens last week. I'm gonna take the Colts in this game.
All right. Hey, to be fair, would not be surprised if the Colts pulled one out in this game as well. So we have a divisional matchup of the AFC or NFC South, excuse me, as we always say, sponsored by alcohol on this show. All right, Buccaneers at Saints in New Orleans. New Orleans favored by a field goal. Tony, I'll start with you. Who do you have, Bucs or Saints?
I'm going to take the Bucs, Chris. Baker and the 3 points. I'm not in love with that team, but the Saints are even worse. And I believe Jameis Winston's playing for the Saints now that Derek Carr's out. I'll take the Bucs. They still have something going on there. A little bit more confidence than the Saints. Saints blowing a 17-point lead to the Packers. I don't like what I'm seeing there. Give me the Bucs and the 3 points.
Yeah, Tony, I'm also going with the Bucs in this game. Even with Derek Carr, I didn't really see what the identity of the Saints was, and so with Jameis Winston stepping in for Carr, I don't see that identity improving or necessarily being established anytime soon. In fact, I see it just regressing under Jameis Winston. we've seen multiple iterations of Winston trying to come back. It's never been successful. So yeah, I have the Bucs. They just they had bad luck against a very good Eagles team last week. I still think they're a pretty good team that will potentially win this division, and this game will show who is going to be in the lead for that division. So let's check in on Nick. Oh no, Nick, you're still in the
Y-
Key West. Why?
I mean, that Bucks team just did not look very good on Monday night, and I do believe I agree with you. This game's going to go a long way into determining who wins the NFC South this year. I think even without Carr, Jameis Winston still has that game in him. He has it every once in a while. I think last week he got a little bit of the rust off, and I think with a full week of preparation, I think he should be able to have that game against his former team.
All right. Could happen. I just I'd like to finally see something out of Jameis. He's one of those guys that in fantasy players can attest to this, that he has those glimmers of greatness sometimes, and then he
Mhm.
just has moments where you're like, how the fuck are you an NFL quarterback? So we'll see which Jameis we get on Sunday. That brings us to another divisional matchup, Washington Commanders at Philadelphia Eagles. Philadelphia is favored by 8.5 points in this game. Nick, I'm going to stay with you. Who do you have in this game?
I'm gonna go with the Eagles in this game. After riding high a few weeks ago, the Commanders they came back to life last week. Buffalo put a stomping on them. I expect things to stay the same this week. Eagles win by at least double digits.
Right. Let's check in on Tony. Oh, he's looking a little far off in the distance, like he's on a lonely island right now. Tony, what's going on? Why are you on an island?
I'm on an island because 8.5 points is far too many points to be given a division rival. This has backdoor cover written all over it. Give me the commies. Watch for the Eagles to be up 14 points late and some nonsense to happen with a backdoor touchdown. I'm telling you guys, give me the commies in this one. Commies in those 8.5 points.
All right. I'm going with the Eagles because I think they come out slow out of the gates, but then initially, or yeah, second half, they're going to come out strong. They'll probably win by, I'd say, over double digits against the Commanders. We've talked about it just multiple times, drilled it into your head. Offensive line is amazing for the Eagles. That front seven on defense is just spectacular for them. Run game's awesome. Jalen Hurts is awesome. And then the Commanders are just mediocre. They're a team looking to find their identity in the league right now. So Eagles easily in this game. All right, Bengals at Titans. Cincinnati's favored by 2.5 points. Nick, who do you have in this game?
Chris, I'm gonna go with the Bengals in this game. Even though Joe Burrow still looks like he's struggling throwing off that plant foot, he's not really able to throw it downfield to his weapons. The Titans were only able to put up 94 yards last week. So I don't really expect much of a shootout in this game, with the Bengals probably winning with a late field goal.
Yeah, I'd say it was the Bengals defense that won the game for them last week against the Rams. Um, and I think that's what'll carry them against the Titans team that just you're it's the law of diminishing returns with Derrick Henry right now. He's not the same Derrick Henry that he was last year or even 2 years ago. Tannehill, same thing. I think he's just kind of aged out at this point, and it's time for the Titans to just move forward. And so they're in a weird gray area, I think, this season. And so I'm gonna go with the Bengals in this one. That leaves us with another opportunity at a lonely island for Tony. So let's check in on him. Tony? Oh no! He's on the lonely island with Tannehill and the Titans. I thought you had learned your lesson to not pick Ryan Tannehill.
Me too, man. Me too. I don't like this at all, but this is more about I think that the Bengals got away with one on Monday night, and I think that was a big emotional win, and they had some creative uses to protect Joe Burrow. I don't think they get away with that again against the Titans. The Titans got their butts kicked against the Browns. They're going to come back and play better. 2.5 points at home. Give me the Titans in this one. I think they win this game by a field goal.
All right. Moving on to an AFC West divisional matchup. We have the Las Vegas Raiders at the Los Angeles Chargers. Two destinations that you definitely would not have thought of 10 years ago with those teams. But Los Angeles Chargers favored by 5.5 points in this game. Raiders going into this without Jimmy G. Nick, who do you have in this game?
Chris, I'm going to go with the Chargers in this game. I think the loss of Mike Williams is going to hurt Justin Herbert and the Chargers later on down the road. But I think going up against this division opponent with a backup quarterback, I think they should be able to win this by at least a touchdown.
Yeah, I'm picking the Chargers as well. I think the Raiders their offense wasn't working well with Jimmy G. And so with backup QB, I don't see it working well at all. And then Chargers, they're a team that clearly can score, despite their inefficiencies or shortcomings in just a lot of different areas. They can score though. So I'm going with the Chargers. I think they win by easily over a touchdown. Tony, for the love of God. Oh no, you did it. You're on the Lonely Island. Why are you picking the Raiders?
Brandon Staley's not a good coach, and the Chargers are far from fixed. I know that win against the Vikings saved his job. They're not good. I wouldn't be surprised if they lost this game. Coming in just way, way too happy over that win. And the Raiders, that backup Aiden O'Connell, played well in preseason. And maybe there's just something to be in Jimmy G's backup. Brock Purdy was Jimmy G's backup last year. So maybe this backup for the Raiders will be better than Jimmy G. Like, I'm counting on it. Give me the 5.5 points. Raiders.
All right, saying that Jimmy G almost has like the reverse Tom Brady curse going on. uh, all right, fair enough. Also, you're never gonna hear me or Nick admitting that any coach is better than yeah, that Josh McDaniel's better than any coach. So
No.
not happening. Yeah. All right, Patriots at Cowboys in Jerry World. Dallas is favored by 7 points. I'm going with the Patriots in this game. It's a rematch of 2021 where Mac Jones and Dak Prescott went at it. That game ended 35-29. But the notable thing about that game was that Mike McCarthy was the first Cowboys coach to beat Bill Belichick as the Patriots head coach. Bill Belichick being 5-1 against the Cowboys. So clearly he had something going for him last year. Also, he's playing Mac Jones, but Mac Jones was able to keep it close within 6. So that's why I can't pick Dallas at 7 points today. I do think that the Cowboys win, but knowing Bill Belichick, he's still going to keep it close against y'all. So I am going with the Patriots. So another chance at a lonely island. Let's check in on Tony. Oh, God damn it. You're still on the lonely island. Of course you're picking the Cowboys. Tell us why.
7 felt like a good number. This is their bounce back game after they got shellacked against the Cardinals. In the past, whenever they lose games they're not supposed to, they come back and blow out the opponent. I don't think Bill Belichick is that great of a coach. It seems like the luster's wearing off. This Mac Jones thing is kind of showing how valuable Tom Brady was. So don't really see their offense keeping up. I think the Cowboys win this by at least 8.
Spicy take by Mr. Tony Parlay there. But hey, we'll see how it plays out here. All right. Cardinals at Niners, another divisional matchup, this time coming with the NFC West. One of the largest spreads of the season. The Niners are favored by 14 points. I am going with the Niners in this game. Um, even though the Cardinals, yes, like that, they had their Cowboys win. That was a big emotional win for them. They're gonna have a little bit of a letdown this week. Also, Niners are not gonna they're not gonna overlook Cardinals, especially after what they did to the Cowboys last week. So I think Niners are gonna want to come in and make a statement in this game, especially after what happened to the Cowboys to prove, yeah, hey, we're the best team in the NFC. So I'm going with the Niners. So let's check in on Nick. Oh man, Nick in Key West. What's going on, man? You're going with the Cardinals in this game. Tell us why.
I mean, it's a like division game. The Cardinals have been in all 3 games this year. They've been leading at halftime in all 3 games this year. They've covered all 3 games this year. No, I don't expect them to win this game, but I just feel like that 14 points is too much for a division game.
Fair enough. I could see very much a backdoor spread happening in this game, much more than some of the other games that Tony pointed out. So, Tony, we'll swing back to you. Looks like you're off your lonely island now. Tell me why you're picking the Niners.
Niners have had extra time to prepare. I know it is a divisional matchup. I just think, like you said, that they're aware of the Cardinals now, and that feels like the Vegas is begging you to take the 14 and the Cardinals. I think the Niners do make that statement, like you said, at home, and I think they win this one big.
Tony's on to something here. You know what that smells like, folks? Smells like a trap game. All right. Final game of Sunday night football. Kansas City Chiefs at New York Jets in the Meadowlands. A game that I'm sure looked much different on paper when they picked it. KC's favored by 9.5. All great signs of a fun Sunday night football game. Nick, who are you picking in this game?
I'm picking the Chiefs. I mean, that Jets team is awful without Aaron Rodgers. The Chiefs had their get right game last week against the Bears. I expect them to keep going with it. They're going to show America what they can still do. Chiefs win this game by double digits.
Yep, I'm gonna go with the Chiefs in this game as well. I think Chiefs just have everything going for them right now, especially with Taylor Swift in the mix. And then you have international superstar Travis Kelce. You have the star of quarterback, now streaming on Netflix, Mr. Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, Chiefs, everything's going well. And then also, it's been a little bit of a cruel summer for the Jets. And if I were going to enter into this blank space, who's going to win? It's going to be the Chiefs. So, Jets going to continue to have that bad blood. Tony, who do you have in this game?
I agree with you guys, man. The Chiefs, man. The Swifties are winning this game. More shots at Taylor Swift than points scored by the Jets. There is your prop bet for Sunday Night Football to keep you watching because the Chiefs are going to blow the Jets out.
2 games in a row for Taylor Swift, huh?
Yep.
All
She's going to be
right.
in the box.
Okay. All right.
All right.
We'll see what happens. That concludes week 4 picks. We'll be back tomorrow for Monday Night Football with our picks for Seahawks Giants. Check out all our different spaces for that. YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. Make sure you like and subscribe. Also, one quick final shout out. Yesterday was a very important day. Mr. Nicholas Kerr turned 40 years old. Happy birthday, Mr.
Thank you.
Kerr, our fellow sports buds. I hope it was a great birthday. I'm glad I got to spend a little bit of it with you last weekend in Miami. It was a fun time. Hopefully, Tony gets to have some fun with you in Buffalo this weekend. But happy birthday. Glad to have you here. But it's the week 4 picks for birthday boy Nicholas Kerr. For Tony Parlay Reyes, I'm Chris Billings. let's get the hell out of here and enjoy some football.
Thanks for watching the Sports Buds. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe.